All right, artists, now that we've got the cylinder drawn out, we're gonna start shading. Notice that when I shade, I'm laying my pencil down on its side. I'm going back and forth, back and forth. And I don't press down really hard the first time. That's really important with shading, is that you kind of layer it up. And we're adding the shadow on this side because we're gonna pretend that over here is where the light source is. So pretend the sun is over here, it's shining down onto this 3D figure. And so this would be a highlight or a light area. And this side would be a light area. Therefore, this is the shadowed area. Again, we're gonna keep shading it darker and darker. You can see the example that I posted on Schoology of how dark we wanna kind of get this up. And notice I'm shading all in one direction. That's super important when we're shading. It helps make it look a little bit neater and more professional looking. It also helps you kind of color in the lines if we kind of keep all of those lines going in the same direction. Now, of course, if you accidentally color outside the lines, kind of like I did there, you can always just take a little bit of an eraser and fix that up. All right, so right now it still looks pretty streaky. So I'm gonna take my piece of paper towel or my napkin, whatever it is that you chose to use, wrapping it around my finger, and I'm gonna smudge it. The bad thing about smudging is it does get outside the lines. And that's okay, we're not gonna worry about it right now. Notice that when I'm smudging, I'm doing small little circles. There we go. Whew. That looks really messy, doesn't it? So to fix this, to make it look less messy and more clean, I'm going to go through and kind of trace over my lines again. This helps clean it up for sure. Okay, it's already looking a little bit better. Okay, so looking at that, what do you think needs to be done now? Well, I know many of you guys are like, well, that's outside the lines. You are absolutely correct. So I'm going to go through here and do a little erasing. Now, guys, remember, if I'm ever going too fast, just hit the pause button and get caught up. That's not a big deal. Ooh, that's starting to look 3D. That's a good thing. Very nice. Okay, I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, I think that needs to be darker. So I'm gonna go ahead, take my pencil. Notice I'm holding it kind of weird. I hold it with my 4 fingers. So 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers, and then my thumb. I hold it like this and then I flip it over. Try it. I know it's gonna be uncomfortable at first, but it's a great way to prevent your hand from getting hand cramps. I don't know about you, but I've been drawing or shading or coloring before, and my hand starts hurting. This is a new way to hold your pencil to kind of prevent your hand from having those cramps. Perfect, that looks like a little bit darker. Grab that paper towel, wrap it around my finger. Remember those small little circles? If you keep those circles nice and small, most of the time you don't have to worry about coloring outside the lines or smudging outside the lines. Ooh, that looks much better. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the cast shadow. So if the sun is over here, that means the shadow, it's going to cast a shadow on the ground. I've kind of changed the angle of this a bit. Oh yeah, that looks better. So again, guys, part of being an artist is kind of trying a few things, seeing what looks the best. Oh yeah, that looks much better. Here we go. And then it's going to have a nice rounded top. Nice. Okay, so you want this angle right here. this line to be parallel to that line. There we go. All right, so this is the cast shadow, so it's very dark. Notice again, I'm coloring all in the same direction. I do change direction when